Hi, this is Andreas Moritz, and today I would like to answer a question from Brian Spiritus, and he was wondering if I could speak about sexually transmitted diseases. He made the statement that there is a lot of disinformation and there are a lot of scare tactics in high schools in the United States and elsewhere that scare kids away from having sexual contact at all, and they receive the image that the sex or sexual contact is something that they need to stay away from because it is a dirty, negative thing. And he says that perhaps this has more to do with strengthening our immune system rather than trying to find treatments for those various illnesses. And I totally agree with you on this. I found over the years that sexually transmitted diseases are in fact indications that the immune system has been suppressed by previous encounters with strong toxins. I found that vaccines that are given to kids depresses and suppresses the immune system tremendously. That's basically the approach that modern medicine is taking in order to prevent the appearance or the occurrence of infectious diseases, which is very harmful, as we now know, since that tremendously increases the risk of developing cancer later in life and many other chronic illnesses, which are typically all based on a weakened, suppressed immune system. And there is a lot of scientific evidence now that shows that the immune system of teenagers already the immune systems are very weak compared to the immune systems that teenagers had even 30 or 40 years ago. So we are dealing with a lot of contamination through these chemicals that are in vaccines, formaldehyde, preservatives, adjuvants like aluminum, mercury, and many other things that relate that suppress the immune system or trick the immune system into hyperreaction, such as animal particles from DNA that are contained in the vaccines. And the other thing is that our food and diet that most of the young generation now is eating is also suppressive of the immune system. It can cause severe gastrointestinal distress, which is now more common than it isn't. And that is because the young people eat a lot of junk food that includes processed sugars and soft drinks, artificial sweeteners, preservatives, canned foods or frozen foods that often contain PVAs in the plastic packaging and in the lining of the canned goods, the cans. So there's a lot of exposure to toxins which gradually diminishes the strength of the immune system. In addition, the young people tend to suffer from vitamin D deficiency. They don't get out in the sun as young people used to before the modernization of our industry, where young people used to be more out in the fields and helping with the farming of animals and crops. And so nowadays this has changed tremendously to a more a living system that makes us be more indoors than outdoors. And so these young people suffer from vitamin D deficiency because of lack of sun exposure. And this also suppresses the immune system. So once a person has a weak, suppressed immune system, he is more prone to developing any kind of infection that includes sexually transmitted diseases. And so these diseases are harmless to a person who has a strong, healthy immune system. But the person who doesn't is more prone to developing an infection thereof. And so I would suggest not to vilify these diseases or the germs that can be transmitted from one person to another. These germs are totally harmless for a person who is healthy and strong. They are not harmless in a person who isn't. And so the focus is really, as you said, more on something outside rather than inside. We now know that AIDS, which is a number of so-called diseases like pneumonia and others that are called AIDS diseases because they're related to immune deficiency. And the particles or the viruses that are blamed for that are HIV 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Whereas in reality, it has been shown that these HIV particles, retroviruses, are not at all the cause of AIDS. They cannot be held responsible for causing AIDS diseases, but a weak, depressed, or disturbed, disrupted immune system is. And this comes from even the main discoverer of the HIV virus, Montagnier, who has since then retracted his statement that HIV is responsible for AIDS. He no longer believes that. He says HIV is really harmless as long as the immune system is strong and healthy. And so the focus should be on strengthening the immune system, taking care of the person's diet, have good amount of hydration in the body, and to make sure that also emotionally there is some balance, that stress is known to suppress the immune system as well, that the person is in the best condition to ward off any kind of infectious diseases, and therefore there is no reason why not to indulge in sexual activities. That is part of the growth process. We all were once very young and we went through our own experiences, sexual encounters, and this didn't turn out to be hazardous to our health and to our well-being. In fact, it made us more self-confident and joyful. So I don't personally have anything against sexual experiences, and I would encourage that young people need to follow their natural instincts in this regard and not follow certain rules and directions that are superimposed on them. There's some responsibility, of course, with regard to pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies, but this is another topic altogether. Thank you.